A young man was working late at night at a restaurant. It was about time to close, so he carried the kitchen garbage out the back door to the trash, as he always did. The back door faced a narrow alley, and being that it was late, there was no pedestrian traffic. "There's a dog going through the rubbish." When he looked over, a single dog had its head thrust in the restaurant's trash, rummaging through it. Thinking it a nuisance that would run away if he approached it, the man dragged his large bag of rubbish over. Most wild dogs would run away at the sight of a human, but this one continued to give its undivided attention towards the trash. Not wanting the dog to scatter the restaurant's garbage any further, the young man yelled at the dog, "Hey, quit making a mess!" The dog slowly turned to look at him. But it wasn't a dog. Its body was that of a dog, but its face was human. Hello, and welcome to Toshiden, exploring Japanese urban legends. I'm your host, Tara A. Devlin, and on this show we'll be looking at different urban legends from Japan, how they came about, and, when possible, the truth behind them. Don't forget to join our newsletter at kawabana.net/newsletter to keep up to date with the latest Japanese horror news and get exclusive stories each week. I send out new and interesting urban legends I come across every now and then, so don't miss out. This week, we're talking about the legend of the human-faced dog. Stories of the human-faced dog started to spread across Japan in the late 1980s, particularly amongst elementary school students. It became so popular that it caused a swath of human-faced legends to emerge, with tales of human-faced fish and human-faced spiders, amongst others. If you could think of it, there was probably a tale of a human-faced version somewhere. But where did it come from? And why was the human-faced dog so popular? Legends of where the human-faced dog came from are almost as varied and famous as the original tale itself. In 1973, Tsunoda Jiro published a manga called Ushiro no Hyakutaro. One of the characters was a ghostly dog named Zero, who communicated telepathically with the protagonist and possessed a human face. A few years later, in 1978, the movie Invasion of the Body Snatchers was released, which also featured a dog with a human face. Dogs with human faces were clearly not a new idea, but these may have planted the first seeds in the public imagination of the legend that was yet to come. One popular theory for how the human-faced dog came to be can be found in the inaugural issue of Quick Japan magazine. Quick Japan published a report stating that journalist Ishimaru Gensho, then a writer for the magazine Pop Teen, colluded with Pop Teen's editorial department over a reader-submitted story. That story was about a human-faced dog. He took the story, without publishing it, and expanded on it to create his own work. It was this story that then created the human-faced dog boom of the early 1990s. Japanese actor Mataba Koji later appeared on the nighttime television show Downtown DX, and there, he claimed that he and his friends often joked about stray dogs with human faces. This made human-faced dog stories even more popular, helping the legend to spread further. On the radio program Bakusho Mondai Cowboy, comedian Tanaka Yuji told a story from one of his friends that claimed to be the origin of the urban legend. According to him, an urban legend club at a certain university in Tokyo wanted to research how legends spread amongst young children. They created fake posters and went around asking children about the human-faced dog, deliberately spreading misinformation. While wearing white lab coats, they asked elementary school students, "A dog with a human face has escaped from the research center. Have you seen it?" These same university students supposedly added an ending to the story that featured the dog saying, "Leave me alone," in response to people approaching it. Furthermore, in 1988, the TBS radio program Super Gang, Teens Dial, featured a special on the human-faced dog. This particular show had a large influence on spreading the legend around the country, and over 150 people called in that very same night to report that they had seen a human-faced dog in the flesh. So many people called in that many were left on hold, unable to get through. Whether any of these stories, or a mix of these stories, are the true origin, nobody has yet come to an agreement on. Tales of creatures possessing a human face, such as the kudan, a human-faced cow, or the nue, a mixture of various creatures, much like a chimera, and sometimes said to possess human features, have been around for hundreds of years. In fact, in the book Gaidan Bunbun Shyo, written by author Ishizuka Hokaishi in 1810, tells the tale of a dog in the town of Todacho, Edo, who gave birth to a puppy with a human face. A showman catches wind of the strange birth and buys the puppy to put in his show, selling out crowds with its incredible popularity. There was a real-life superstition at the time that intercourse with a female dog would cure syphilis, which led to rumors and tales of puppies being born with human faces. According to fellow Edo writer Kato Ebian, on April 29, 1819, a puppy was born in the Nihonbashi area with a human face that became the talk of the town. Folks who told him the tale said that the dog had a face like that of a monkey. Some tile block prints made during the era also portrayed these human-faced dogs as having human front legs to go with their faces. There are two main stories told about the human-faced dog. The first and main story is the one mentioned earlier. Some versions of this tale go a little further, with the dog turning to look at the man with an exhausted look on his face and telling him, "Leave me alone," like the version supposedly spread by university students. He's also been known to mutter, "I'm free to do what I want. Shut up," or, "Oh, it's just a human." Other versions have the dog able to jump over 6 meters in the air on the spot, and in some, the dog is actually an escaped experiment from a research facility. The other main version of the story claims that if you overtake a human-faced dog while driving on the highway, you will crash and potentially die. Here, the dog is able to reach speeds of 100 kilometers per hour and will chase down cars, generally causing them to crash. Some origin stories for the dog claim he actually died in a car accident, and the human-faced dog is his spirit. According to yokai researcher Yamaguchi Bintaro, a lesser-known version states that a middle-aged businessman committed suicide after he lost his job in a company downsizing, and through his malice, he was possessed by a dog spirit, causing him to become a human-faced dog. It's also said that if a human-faced dog bites you, you will become one yourself, much like a strange human canine vampire with a taste for trash. Depending on who you want to believe, the human-faced dog is either an angry spirit, human or canine, sometimes both, a yokai, or a biological experiment gone wrong. Some legends even claim the dog was created by mutation thanks to environmental pollution. Pop Teen ran a final human-faced dog report in their April 1989 issue, where they gathered data from people all around the country who claimed to have seen the animal. They concluded the following. 1. Only people with a strong deikan, or ability to see ghosts, were able to see the human-faced dog. If 2 people were together, there was no guarantee that both people would see it. 2. There isn't just one human-faced dog. Several were seen all over the country by numerous people. 3. The human-faced dogs knew they were being talked about. One second-grade high school student from Kawagoe City in Saitama Prefecture claimed that one approached her to talk. She worked up the courage to ask it what it really was, and claimed that the dog answered, "I can't say right now, but now that everyone is talking about us, daily life has become more difficult." And number 4, human-faced dogs never attacked people. Not a single person who came across them mentioned that they had been directly attacked by the dogs. While tales of dogs with human faces aren't new by any means, we have Pop Teen to thank for this particular legend. It soon took on a life of its own that I don't think even Pop Teen could have foreseen, and it's still an extremely common story told today. And that brings us to the end of this week's episode. You can help support us and get early access to both this show and Kowabana over on our Patreon at patreon.com/TaraADevlin. And if you want even more urban legends, Toshiden Volume 2 is available on Amazon right now, so don't miss out. Thanks guys, and I'll see you again next time for even more Toshiden, exploring Japanese urban legends. Want even more scary stories? Head over to kowabana.net for new translations every week. You can also join our Patreon for exclusive stories you won't find anywhere else. Head over to kowabana.net now.